Yeah, what's going on, team? Welcome to tonight's isolation session for July 21st, 2025. Hope everyone had a great day so far. Hope everyone had a great trading day. We're gonna start the stream. There was a question I got in the Discord from Mr. Albert, and his question was, hi bro, would be glad if you could cover a topic of how to find continuations of previous trade. An example would be a previous trade you took on gold. Um, so we'll do that first, right? We'll go to gold, right? And his question was, how do you find the continuation? Right? The continuations are easy, right? Continuations are just 372s, whether that's, in this case, since gold is in an uptrend, right? Whether that's 2 days of rise going into a third day, 2 weeks of rise going on into the third week, or 2 months of rise going into a third month. That's what's considered the continuation. Now, the only recent trade that I've taken on gold, the one that I could think that you're speaking about, could be that short, which this short wasn't a continuation. This one was just a pullback, right? So there's two ways to go at this, right? We already knew on gold, right? On Monday of last week, we already knew that we were in a zone of consolidation, right? Once price went low, went high, was rejecting these highs, like, okay, this is going to be our high and low that we know price is just going to consolidate towards. What's good, Albert? Hey, bro, I made it on time. Perfect. We're just going over the question. So just to ask this question first, you're talking about this recent trade that I took on gold. Let me know what this is that I have down here. It's a 4-hour engulfing. All right. We'll get to this. Let me know if that's the question you had, if it was for this trade that we took, for this short, so I could answer that question a little bit better. Because your question was a continuation, but this trade wasn't a continuation. This one is, just to answer the question with this trade, right? This trade was a simple top of the zone of consolidation, right? At the top of the zone of consolidation, what did price do? It rejected the highs, gave us the inducement of the highs. On the 30-minute time frame, it gave us exhaustion candles, right? After the exhaustion candle, we got a 5-minute change. We got a 5-minute engulfing candle going short, and that was the entry, right? So now the next thing that I'm looking at, right? What do we have previous to this day of drop? What did we have? 1 day of rise, 2 days of rise, 3 days of rise, which was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. After 3 days of rise, what must the market do? The market must move sideways or go down. So the confluence that price already gave us 3 days of rise, the confluence that we were at the top of the zone of consolidation already, the confluence that price rejected the highs, gave us inducement to the highs, and the confluence that we had an exhaustion candle, this is just all on the 30-minute time frame, already gave us the confirmation that, okay, this could be the potential spot to be looking for price to go back down to the bottom of the zone of consolidation. The next confirmation that we had was that 5-minute engulfing candle, which was the entry straight to TP. That was all this is. 3 days of rise. After 3 days of rise, the market must move sideways or go down. We're at the top of the zone of consolidation. We had the inducements of the highs. We had the rejection candles of the highs. We had the exhaustion candles of the highs. After we had the exhaustion candles, after we had the inducement, price printed the 5-minute engulfing candle going short. And how do we find another entry from there? Another entry after the trade if it closes to the previous, if it's close to the previous trade. Same thing, right? In this case, again, understanding that we're at the top of the zone of consolidation. I'm sorry, understanding that we're still in an overall uptrend, right? Next question would be, well, if we're in an overall uptrend, don't you trade? You don't trade counter. That's correct, right? But when I'm looking at gold, when I'm looking at pairs that are super high in volume, I know that I could trade it because we're talking about gold, right? We're talking about 218 pips of profit, right? Meaning, if price decides to turn around, if we're already in profit, the minimum that we'll take on gold if it turns around would be 100 pips, right? Even 60 pips, right? We're cool with 60 pips, right? To find the continuations going short is the same thing. I believe this entry here, no, this one tapped into that 1 hour engulfing candle that was already used, right? Let me go back and see. Right, yeah, it was this engulfing candle that price tapped into it again, right, and gave you another entry. However, I don't take trades once price already taps into my engulfing candle. I'm not looking to get in again at another retest, right? So let's say that we missed the second day, right? We'll be looking for a 372. We'll be looking for the same thing, right? We'll be looking for a retest. We'll be looking for an engulfing candle, which we never had, right? And this day was a news day anyway for gold, so I wouldn't be trading it on a news day. But when you look for continuations, it's the same thing. You're looking for the exact same thing, Albert. The same entry that you took the first time you took the trade is the same thing that you're looking for on the second day, is the same thing that you're looking for on the third day. Nothing changes, right? If price does like what it did here, where, okay, it went down. Okay, it went down, but did you have an entry opportunity? Did price give you a valid entry opportunity in order to take the trade? Right? And my answer to that, based on my rules and what I look for, no. We're not following my rules, so I can't take this trade going back down because I never had a trading opportunity to trade. Every trade I take, it doesn't matter if it's a continuation, it doesn't matter if it's at the tippity top, it doesn't matter if it's at the bottom. It's all the same thing. I'm looking for the same thing. I'm looking for a change of character, break of structure, engulfing candle, rejection candles, inducements, exhaustion candles. It's all the same thing. Like, it's truly really the same thing, just over and over. And the best example I could give you, let me see if I could go back to it. If I could go this far back, let me see, hold on. Right, and that question also ties into what's happening with US oil now, and we'll go over that as well. We'll go over that once we get to oil. And we'll go over the trade as well. That was the trade that I took today for oil. No, I can't go back to it. Damn. How far back was this? January? No, it has to be here. That wasn't... Was those trades last year? There's no way. Yeah, it was. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to go back to it. Damn, that was a good example too. Damn, those trades were already last year. That's crazy. Let me see if I can find another example of this on another pair. Okay, so this is a good example, right? You had the first day of drop. Same thing, again, is the exact same thing. You could see that is the same thing. Why did I get in here? Exhaustion candles at the highs, inducement to the highs. We had a, I think it was a 1 minute engulfing candle going short. Boom, we had 1 day of drop. On the second day, did we get an opportunity to trade? No. Price consolidated and then just dumped. Perfect. We had 2 days of drop. I'm looking for a 372, the third day low to be given, right? What I look for at the 372, I'm looking for price for an entry opportunity. I'm looking for the same thing: an engulfing candle, rejection candles, inducements of the highs, right? A type 1 pattern, a type 2 pattern. I'm looking for the same thing. In this case, the 372, the continuation, was a retest of the 30-minute engulfing that we had printed. Price gave us the retest straight down to TP. So again, it really, like, there's nothing more missing to what we've already been doing. Again, it's the same thing over and over and over and over again. You have your trading plan, you have your trading rules, you know what you're looking for. If that happens on the chart, then you take the trade. If that doesn't happen on the chart, then you don't take the trade. It's as simple as that. Right? It doesn't matter how good it could look. And I'll give you the example of US oil now. Right? What do you mean it doesn't look good? We'll give you the example. Oh, wow, never mind. Oil already gave us... Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. Damn, man. That's crazy. That's bogus. Fuck you, oil. But here we go. How would we go about this? You have 1 day of drop. You caught the second day. You already know you're looking for a 372. You're looking for price to go short. Right? And again, what are you looking for? The same thing. Engulfing candles, rejection candles at 330. Right? 330. Price gave you the engulfing candle. It gave you the retest, literally picture perfect, boom, straight to TP. This would have been a 15 pip stop loss for a 60 pip TP, which we would have hit as soon as the market opened, straight to take profit. That's all this is. This is the same thing, just rinse and repeat. You're looking for the same exact rules every single time. Now the question is, why didn't you take the trade? I was looking at the chart. I didn't take the trade. Why? I do not trade. I do not hold trades from one session to the next. Why? Because you have to worry about swap fees. What if this would have happened, but it would have went long instead? Right? You never know when the market opens what's going to happen. Even you could have the best trading strategy in the world. I'm not going to disrespect my rules because I've already seen it. I've lived through it. I've made the mistakes before. The swap fees are hella expensive. So the profits you're going to get, it depends on what pair you're trading, but those swap fees could be anywhere between 40, 50, 60 bucks. I've done it on gold once by accident and it was a $175 swap fee, which is crazy. It's crazy. So right here, this is a picture perfect example of that question you have. What are you looking for in a continuation? The same thing. I'm looking for the exact same rules that I traded to get this trade is the exact same rules that I'm looking at to catch this trade. Is the only thing. Let me know if that makes sense, Albert. And everybody else watching, let me know if that makes sense. But again, when I'm trading, I'm looking for the same rules to play out every single time I'm on the charts. Right? It doesn't matter what I believe I see. It doesn't matter that it happened to us with GCAD. I'll give you an example of GCAD. Right? Of what happens when you get too ahead of yourself. And, well, again, it was the only trade that I've lost this year. And again, you guys could see how much it hurts because I still fucking know about this trade. A lot of people are like, oh, you have to forget about that trade. No, you have to remember your losses. Because your losses is what's going to allow you to not make the same mistakes over and over and over again. So let's talk about GCAD. Right? We took this trade going long and I held this trade thinking that it was going to go back to the daily high because there was a third month high to the top side. Right? Which was 2 months of rise. You're looking for a third month continuation. Right? We're not going to have to even talk about that we were in a zone of consolidation. None of that. Let's just speak about that itself. Right? Did our rules show up on the chart on this day? Some of them did, but realistically speaking, no, because we're at the top of a zone of consolidation. So we already knew that this trade wasn't going to work out, but I held the trade anyway and I took a loss for that. Right? So again, when I'm coming to the charts, what am I looking for a continuation? Boom. Again, an oil, 2 days of drop. Perfect. I know that for today's session, for Tuesday, I'm looking for a 372. I'm looking for the third day low. That's it. Did price give us the entry? Absolutely. Again, it gave it to us in the 15-minute time frame at 3:30 p.m. to go straight into profit. If I would have taken this trade, we would have been in drawdown what? We would have been in drawdown 2 pips. We would have held this trade for a few hours until the market opened. As soon as the market opened, it would have hit our TP. So when it comes to a retest, once price prints an engulfing candle, you wait till price tests that engulfing before going to TP. Yes. Before I look for an entry, I need to see if it's an engulfing candle entry. Right? If it's an engulfing candle entry, I need to see price give me a retest of the engulfing candle. That's when I'll take the trade. Stop loss above the engulfing candle. Right? And my TP in this case, it wouldn't be STP. It would just be the 372 low. Are you going to get the retest every single time? You might not. Right? We've seen that happen where price misses the engulfing candle by a pip or by 2 pips, or it doesn't even reach it at all. But this one was picture perfect. Again, level 2, you want to see price bounce off the 200 EMA, boom. 200 EMA, we're right on it. Engulfing candle, right on the 200 EMA, perfect. A retest, right on the engulfing candle, perfect. Straight to TP to the 372. Right, so oil was a picture perfect trade for yesterday, for today, and for Tuesday's session. Right, that would have been the trade for today. But again, not following my rules. What rules did it not follow? It gave me the entry already at 3:30. I'm not holding this trade from one session to the next. The same way I wouldn't hold the trade from Friday going into the market open on Sunday. There's no way. Me personally, I'm not doing that. I've lost a lot of cash doing that. On demo, of course. Not real. I've lost a whole bunch of trades when I was first learning how to trade. Holding trades from one session to the next. Like, I already know. I've already had to feel that hurt. So again, every entry I take has to follow the same rules every single time. There's nothing new. Nothing new. I'm still looking for the change. I'm still looking for the break. I'm still looking for a retest. I'm still looking for the price to bounce off the EMAs. I'm still looking for the engulfing candles. Right? If it presents itself, I'm looking for a type 1, type 2, or type 3 pattern. It's the same thing every single day. There's nothing different. I don't show up to the charts thinking that I'm going to do something different. No. If price isn't following my rules, I'm not taking a trade. What I was saying about STP in this case, right? I'm not looking at STP, right? All I'm looking for is for that third day low to be hit. So instead of, for example, well, I can't even see this because the fucking market opened. And it just went straight down. So I can't even give you the example for that. But let's say STP was here, right? Like, let's say STP was down here, right? I'm not looking to put my take profit at STP. All I'm looking for is to catch that third day push to the bottom. That's it. So this trade would have looked something like this, right? 15-minute engulfing candle, the retest, stop loss right above, my TP at yesterday's low, which was Monday's low. This would have been the position for oil. 56 pip TP, 16 pip, a little bit shorter, 15 pip stop loss. This would have been the position. I'm not looking at STP. I'm not doing none of that. For a 372, whether it's long or going short, all I'm looking for is for price to hit that third day low. Once that third day low is hit, I'm out of the trade. That's it. And again, for everybody else watching, if you guys have any questions before we get started, let me know. Any pairs in specific you guys want me to go over, let me know. If you need me to explain something that's not making sense, anything at all, just let me know. If not, we'll just be going over the pairs that we go over every single day. The pairs that we look at during our live trading session, which is the pairs with the red folder or the red flag next to their name, starting off with AUD/USD, finishing off with US oil. We will be going in order from the top to the bottom. But once again, if you guys have any questions about any other pairs, let me know. But yeah, Albert, let me know if that makes sense. Okay, brother. Thanks very much for the explanation. No problem, Albert. No problem at all. We'll give everybody another 2 minutes to join. I think that's fair. We'll give everybody another 2 minutes to join, and then we will get started. So again, any questions, any pairs you guys want me to go over, anything you want me to explain, any questions at all, let me know. If not, again, this session should be going on pretty quick. I'm not gonna take so long like I did yesterday with the weekly market breakdown. We'll go over the pairs, look for continuations. The pairs that we don't really have to talk about, we'll just skip over, and then we'll go to the next one. So we should be finishing this session in 30 minutes, 35 minutes. Any questions at all, let me know. Fly you at degrees, full speed, above the Paris. All because of what I did on baby. On G-Wag. No questions? Alright guys, a few seconds, we'll get started. Are you using a mini PC? No, I'm using regular PC. Like well, what used to be my gaming PC, but now it's just my regular PC. I do everything on here. 2070 Super, i7 9700K. It's pretty souped out. Not anymore. It used to be. Now it's old compared to what's out now, but all right, so let's get started. So AU, again, we know AU is still in a downtrend. We're in an overall downtrend. We're looking for that third push back down to the bottom. We're just looking for a lower high to be set, right? And again, we zoom in, we still see price making higher high, higher low, higher high, gave us the higher low, going back to the top side, right? So this is a pair that I already know for right now. We could skip over, right? I'm not looking for no trades on AU. We have 2 days of rise, perfect. Still looking for a lower high to be set. Once a lower high is set, that's when I'll start taking those trades. AUD CAD should be pretty much the same thing, right? AUD CAD, we're still in A1, which is the first zone of consolidation on a downtrend. We're looking for that second push back down to the bottom. And right now we're just at the bottom of the zone of consolidation, right? No continuations here on the daily time frame. On the 4 hour, no continuations. We have 2 weeks of counter rise, right? And then on the 30-minute time frame, we had a change of character, lower low, but we don't have to break. So still have to wait for that break of structure. That break is going to tell us if the trend is going to shift from uptrend to downtrend. As you can see, we've been uptrending the entire time, right? Then price gave us a little inducement of the low, and it's still an inducement because it's just a change of character. And price for today just consolidated today. Consolidated, and we finished very slight low. Very close to a no net, but it is a low. So we do have a day of drop. But again, before I take a trade on AUD CAD, I need to see that break of structure first. Once we get that break, then I'll know we'll look for those continuations. Let's look and see, do we have any engulfing candles here? Anything that we could be like, oh, we could get in a little bit earlier. Let's see. Nothing here. Nothing on the 4, nothing on the 1. I'm not going to go lower than the 15. Nothing on the 15. So we just got to be patient with AUD USD and AUD CAD. Nothing to update. Going on to the next one. Euro AUD. We are still at the higher high. We are in level 3 and an uptrend. Level 1, V1, level 2, V2. And we're looking for level 3 that we're currently in. And we're looking for price to reach our previous peak high. So we still have a long way to go for price to continue this uptrend push. Right, so what we're looking for now on Euro AUD is just a continuation. Whether that's 2 weeks of rise, 2 days of rise, or 2 months of rise. And right now we don't have anything on the 4 hour. And on the 30-minute, again, we know that we're just still stuck in the zone of consolidation. We have a day of rise. Again, we have a change of character. We don't have a break. So we're still trading between this 30-minute high and 30-minute low. So my only entry confirmations that I know that I'm going to find on Euro AUD will be those continuations. Which again is whenever price gives us 2 days of rise, we'll take the third day push to the top side, that 372. Right, so Euro AUD is a pair that we know that we could just fall back on for a little bit. We just have to wait for those continuation patterns to show up. Once price gives us those continuations, then we'll start taking trades on Euro AUD. So right now we know we could just take a step back from that. Keep an eye on it just in case, but we know that for right now we're not really looking at anything. EURUSD already reached the previous peak high, so this is a pair that I will not be trading. So I am just going to update this if needed. 3 weeks of drop. After 3 weeks of drop, we already know this week price is either going to go up or move sideways. Right, so all I'm looking for on EURUSD is the same thing as Euro AUD. Right, I'll be looking for continuation patterns. 3 pushes to the top side on the second day of rise. Right, we'll take the third day push. And we know that the trend is still lower low, lower high, lower low. We know that this could be a lower high. So EURUSD, I already know that this is a very low probability pair to be looking for price to go up. And again, why? Because price is still giving us lower low, lower high, lower low. Could this be a lower high to continue into a lower low? Absolutely. So gonna be patient with EURUSD. Nothing on EURUSD for right now. Euro USD. We are in level 2 and an uptrend. We have push number 1, first zone of consolidation. This is push number 2. Where are we trading at? We're at a higher high. What are we looking for? Higher high going into a higher low. Just like what we explained yesterday, we still have these gaps at the bottom of the market. In level 2, we want to see price bounce off the 200 EMA. So I am expecting Euro USD to go a little bit lower. We have 2 weeks of drop. This week being the third week. Could price go lower? Absolutely. On the 30-minute time frame. Oh, 30-minute time frame, you have 2 days of rise. Are you taking the third day? Let's explain this. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Right? We're still trading lower low and lower high. We're in these 30-minute highs. This is a very low probability 372. And again, low probability because the market has not shifted from a downtrend to an uptrend. So if we take a trade going here, going long, this is still considered us trading, taking a trade going, let me reword that. This is us taking a trade at a lower high going long when we know that price trends lower low, lower high, lower low. So Euro USD right now, even though we have 2 days of rise, this is a low probability trade to take. So I already know Euro USD, we'll have to keep a close eye on it. Not really interested on Euro USD. Let me take my hoodie off real quick. Give me 1 second. Alright, my bad, I'm back. For GA, right, where are we in GA? GA, we are in level 3. We've already reached the previous peak high territory. So again, very similar to EuroCAD. This is a pair that I'm currently not trading. We have 3 months where price has just been moving sideways. I nearly ignored that long pullback. Let's go back to that. For Euro USD, are you talking about this right here? Got you. Yeah, it gets a little confusing, especially as like when you're first looking at these charts like this. It gets a little confusing, especially when you have big moves like this. But just always remember these crazy moves in the market, especially whenever there's news and price just moves one way super fast, that's an imbalance. So whatever happens with this candle, I'm not really looking at it when it comes to structure, right? Let's say that you do. Let's say one day you do decide to mark it up and you say that this is lower low, lower high, lower low, then price came up, gave you a higher high. Regardless of how you slice it up, price still came down and gave you a lower low. So you're still trading between this low and this high. We're still trading lower low. That could be a potential lower high. I know it gets, again, I know it gets a little confusing. But again, whenever price moves this fast in one direction, especially during the news days, it's an imbalance. I'm never really looking at price. I'm not looking at structure with those candles because those are imbalance candles. Price has to come back down and fill that imbalance up before it makes the move again. So just keep that in mind. GA, what we say about GA? We're in peak high territory. Yeah, so I'm just gonna update this, make sure everything is still updated. We're good. Yeah, GA, I'm taking a step back again. The only time I'll trade GA again in these areas is once we get the change of character, once we get the break of structure after the change of character, and once we have a 372, once we have continuation. So right now, just taking a step back again, this is pretty much what I'm looking for. In order for me to look to take a trade, I need to see price give me a break, the retest, to then continue. Or we'll be looking for a third day push, right, the 372. Right, so GA, we already know we could go ahead and skip over that one. Gonna be a quick session today, man. It's not a lot to look at on the charts. GCAD. In level 3 in an uptrend, we know that we need to reach the previous peak high, so we still have a long way to go. right? This is a pair that we know has a third month push to the top side, but again, we already know that this higher high here is not a valid higher high. Price never gave us a valid break of the highs, gave us inducement candles to the highs, gave us exhaustion candles, and price came back down. So this is a big reason as to why I'm not looking for trades on GCAD. We have 3 weeks of drop, which is perfect. Oh, 3 weeks of drop. We know that the price must move up or move sideways. So perfect. What does that tell me? On the 30-minute time frame, the only way I'll take a trade, again, with this pair, especially because we never had a valid break, we just have a change of character to the top side, all I'm looking for is a continuation. Right? Again, the continuation is if we have 2 days of rise, I'll take the third day. So for example, today, Monday, price gave us a day of rise. If Tuesday gives us a second day of rise, then that means Wednesday is when I'll start looking to take a trade to go back to the top side. That's the only trade I'll be looking to take on GCAD. So right now, GCAD, we know we could go ahead and skip over, man. There's nothing to trade on GCAD. GJ is still chilling at these highs, right? Overall, we're still in an uptrend. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Price went to the top side and just consolidated. And we're still just trading at the top of the zone of consolidation. Right, on the 4-hour time frame, we could see that we're stuck in a 4-hour zone of consolidation as well, which we could also see on the 30-minute time frame. We're just stuck in a zone of consolidation. Right, so now we know that GJ has this gap at the top of the market. We know that these gaps have to be filled. Could we look for a trade? Absolutely. When could we look for a trade? Ideally, I would have wanted to see GJ go just a little bit lower, right? Give us an inducement of the lows to then start looking for those pushes back to the top side. Could we find an entry on GJ? Of course, 1000%, right? And that's what I'm going to be looking for. But as of right now, structurally, there's nothing to talk about. We're stuck in a zone of consolidation. We need to start seeing lower time frames, change of characters, break of structures to then continue. We need to see an engulfing candle. We need to see something that's going to act as an anchor to let us know that this is where price is going to stop, and this is where we need to start looking for our entries to go back to the top side. So GJ, we're going to skip it. Again, we'll look at those pairs in the morning. GU, looking good. Where are we on GU? GU, we are in level 2 in an uptrend. We had push number 1, first zone of consolidation. Right? The first zone of consolidation, we had to break, higher high, higher low, and this is where level 2 started. Again, level 2, what do we want to see? We want to see price bounce off the 200 EMA. We are sitting at the higher high still. We're still in a higher high. Could we expect price to go lower into a higher low? Absolutely. Give us a steeper pullback, give us a higher low. Once we got a higher low, that's when we'll start looking at trades, to look for those trades to go back up. Right? Or same thing as the other pairs. We have 3 weeks of drop. After 3 weeks of drop, the market for this week must move sideways or go up. Perfect. Now that we know that, what are we looking for on the 30-minute time frame? We're looking for the change of character. We're looking for the break of structure. Perfect. Now, the next question should be, oh, is this a pair that we're going to start looking to take trades in? As of right now, it is still low probability. Why? Because, again, where are we in the overall trend? We're still at a higher high. Could we expect price to go lower and give us a steeper pullback? Absolutely. And the number one confirmation that we have on our 30-minute time frame is the 800 EMA. What do we know about the 800 EMA? The 800 EMA acts as a support. Price is always going to respect the 800 EMA. So I'm not going to be looking for a trade today on GU to go long, right? I have this 5-minute engulfing candle marked up here just in case, but I'm not really looking to take this trade going long. Why? Because again, we have the 800 EMA right here. So what I'll be looking for is for 372. If today price decides to go up, right, which is Tuesday, then I'll take this trade on Wednesday to go back to the top side. Is the only way I'll take a trade on GU. Again, I need to see price break above this 800 EMA. If it doesn't break above this 800 EMA, then perfect. We already know we're looking for a pullback. We already know GU wants to go back down and give us a pullback to the 200 EMA. We know that's going to happen. So we just have to be patient with GU. right? I'm not gonna force any trades on GU. And again, very similar to EU. It's the exact same shit. It's very similar. We're almost done. Wow. NZD USD. We are in A2, second zone of consolidation, looking for that third and final push to the bottom, right? Our previous peak low is down here, so we still have a few pips to go. We're still sitting at the low of the zone of consolidation. No continuations on the daily time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, we're still trading higher high, higher low, higher high. Price came down, gave us a higher low, right? What do we know about NZD USD? Well, we have 2 weeks of drop. So this week, could we be expecting price to give us that third week low? Absolutely. Absolutely. A2, we want to see price bounce off the 50 EMA. We're bouncing off the 50 EMA. We have exhaustion candles at the 50 EMA. Perfect. Right? We're bouncing off the 50 EMA on the 4-hour time frame as well. Perfect. 30-minute time frame, we're still above the 50, which is okay. Right? If we go down to lower time frame, you can see that I was marking this up because I was waiting for this trade, but we never got a valid break. Then price came lower low, lower high, lower low, gave us a change of character, higher high, higher low, gave us a break of structure, higher high, higher low, then gave us a higher high. So in order for me to start looking for shorts, I need to see price give us a change of character of these lows, a pullback, break below the 800 EMA, perfect, give us the break, right? So we have the change of character, we have the break. Once we get the break and a retest, this is when I'll start looking to take trades to go back down to the lows. And we still have a lot of pips to go. Again, this range from here to the third week low is still 50 pips. So we still have a long way to go. And this is a pair that only moves 50 pips on a day-to-day basis. Right? Looking at STP, let's just look at what we did today. We did 46 pips today. So this is a pair that we just got to be patient. Right now, I don't have anything on NZD USD. This is one of the good-looking pairs for this week. So we'll definitely keep an eye on it. And we have no continuations. And again, we're at the 800 EMA on the 30-minute time frame too. So definitely going to keep an eye on NZD USD for this week. Right? No engulfing candles as of right now. So we just got to be patient with it. US 30, the dirty 30. Faked a lot of people out today, man. Feel bad for everybody. NZD USD daily time frame. We're still at the highs. We're at the highest point in the market. 2 months of rise. This month being the third month gave us that third month push, and then price just started moving sideways, which we could see a little bit more clear on the 4-hour time frame. Right? Price is just moving sideways. Price also gave us a 4-hour engulfing candle. This is good. Right? This is good. Right? Green, green, red, top and bottom wicks on every candle. Perfect. Right, so we already know this is a 4-hour engulfing candle. 30-minute time frame. We had a day of drop yesterday, then today price gave us a day of rise, so no continuations. Right? We had a change of character to the top side, and that's it. No valid break, so we still don't have a trend shift here. Right? Lower time frame, price gave us higher high, higher low, then price gave us highs, then we have a change of character down to the bottom. Change of character, changes this to 5-minute change of character, and we change this to red, so we know that it's a downtrend. Perfect. Alright, so US 30 is one that we'll keep our eyes on as well here in these areas. USD CAD, we have 2 days of counter drop. We have a little change of character that happened here already at the market open. Changes to red, so we know that we are now trading between these lows and these highs. Right, and USD CAD is still a pair that we're trading. At this moment, I'm not taking a trade on USD CAD unless again it's a continuation or we get a 372 or a change of character, break of structure. Right now, we've already reached the previous peak high. Could this be the start of the downtrend push? Absolutely. But again, overall, what are we trading? Higher high, higher low, higher high. Could this be a higher low at the 800 EMA with a double bottom? Absolutely. We have 3 weeks of drop. This week being the 4th week, I'm expecting price to either move sideways or go up. So I already know, again, off the bat, what are we looking for? Continuations, again, a 372, or exactly what we're seeing right now, right? A little inducement of the lows. If price decides to not give us a valid break of these lows, then we know that we could start looking for trades here to go back to the top side. So USD CAD is one that we just have to be patient, wait for price to develop a little bit more, and then start attacking the chart. USD ZAR, daily time frame, we're still in V2, which is the second zone of consolidation in an uptrend, right? We have push 1, push 2, second zone of consolidation, and now we're looking for push number 3 back to the top side. No continuations on the daily time frame. On the 4 hour, we're still trading between lower low, lower high, and lower low. So again, we're still in a downtrend for USD ZAR. And then on the 30-minute time frame, we have the change of character, lower low, lower high, and we have the break of structure, lower low. Now this break, is it a valid break? No. What are you looking for? A valid break is not just one candle that closes below. This is still a testing candle. We wanted to see another red candle close below the first testing candle's wick to then continue back to the top side. And as you can see, no candle closed below the wick. None of these candles were a break. This candle wasn't a break. This candle wasn't a break. They're still testing. So USD ZAR looks a little bit better than USD CAD because it already gave us that inducement. And then on the 4 hour, not a valid engulfing candle because this red candle doesn't have a top wick, and this green candle doesn't have a bottom wick either. So this wouldn't be a valid engulfing candle on the 1 hour time frame. So just have to be patient with USD ZAR, but definitely going to keep this one on our watch list alongside USD CAD. Looks good. Gold. Again, we're almost done here, guys. Only missing Bitcoin and oil right after gold. Right, gold, we're in previous peak highs, right? We're pretty much already in peak high territory, right? We're in an uptrend still. We're in peak high territory. We still have these gaps at the bottom of the market, but we know that gold is stuck in a zone of consolidation. We're just moving sideways. Rejecting highs, rejecting lows, rejecting highs, right? Just moving sideways. We had 3 weeks of rise. On the 3rd week, gave us a rise drop, gave us that 4th week variation back to the top side. Perfect. Gold already gave us those moves for the week. Now, what do I like about gold still right now is the fact that price broke above the 30-minute zone of consolidation. Right, we also have 2 days of rise, but as you can see, as soon as the market opened, gave us that 3rd day push already. So right now for gold is one that I'm just taking a step back from, right, and that's okay. I'm going to be looking for something a little bit more clean, more clear. We have an hour engulfing candle here at these lows, but I don't, obviously at this point, you know, we're definitely not going to get a retest of this going into today. We also had a 4-hour engulfing that price never tapped into. So just got to be patient with gold. Right now I don't have anything to say. Bitcoin, we're stuck in a zone of consolidation as well. I don't really trade Bitcoin. Market doesn't close for another 10 minutes anyway. I trade Bitcoin, but I'm very selective with Bitcoin. Very, very, very selective. Right? We're again in the most recent highs. We're already in peak high territory. Price is trading at a higher high. At a higher high, am I expecting price to make higher high, higher high, higher high, higher high, or am I expecting higher high going into a higher low? I'm expecting a higher low. I am expecting price to go back down and give us a pullback. Right, but again, we're stuck in a zone of consolidation. We see it a little bit more clear on the 4-hour time frame. If we go down to the 30-minute, again, we can see it here. We're just consolidating, rejecting lows, rejecting highs, rejecting lows, rejecting highs, and then here's where price just starts moving more sideways in the middle of the zone. Right, so right now for Bitcoin, not really looking at anything. And then US oil already gave us STP for the day. It already gave us that 3rd day move. This was a beautiful trade. Kind of upset that the market decided to give us the move at 3 p.m. but it's okay, right? Price is doing exactly what it needs to do. On oil, we are in level 2 on a downtrend. Level 1, A1, which is the first zone of consolidation. The break of structure of the zone of consolidation, which created level 2. So we know that we are in level 2. Level 2, again, what are we looking for? We're looking for price to bounce off the 200 EMA. We were bouncing off the 200 EMA. We had exhaustion candles. We had inducement candles, which gives us the entry that we were looking at for today. Right? There's nothing on the 4-hour for right now. On the 30-minute, once again, what did we have? Price gave us, in the 5-minute, it gave us a change of character. It gave us the break of structure. On the 4-hour time frame, it gave us an engulfing candle. Perfect. It gave us the break. It gave us the retest right on the 4-hour engulfing candle to go back short. It gave us 2 days of drop. So we already know that for Tuesday, for tomorrow, we were looking for price to give us another low to the bottom. And it gave us the entry. Again, it did give us the entry. It gave us the entry. Again, 200 EMA and level 2 were on the 200 EMA. It printed a 15-minute engulfing. Gave us the retest. It gave us the entry to go right back down to the bottom. So oil's already done for the day. We could turn that one off. We already know that for tomorrow I'm not going to be looking for anything else. Right? But oil was a beautiful, beautiful pair to look at for this week. I'm very happy that I was able to catch that trade. Oil's my little baby, man. I don't take oil often. I treat it with a lot of respect because it does move crazy sometimes. So I only take trades on oil when I'm 100% confident. And as you can see, that was the oil trade, and you can see that I don't really trade oil a lot. The last time I took an oil trade was just a short little catch back in the beginning of April. So it's been 3 months already that I've taken a trade, and then before that, nothing. I think I've only taken 2 trades on oil this year. Yeah. So that would have been 2 trades back to back. But again, follow my rules, man. I sat on my hands. I was looking at the chart at 3 and I'm like, oh man, should I take the trade? And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to disrespect my rules like that. So that's all there is to it, guys. Again, every single pair is traded the exact same way. I'm looking for the same entries on every single pair. It's just rinse and repeat. Right? I have my rules in front of me every single day. I have my plan in front of me every single day. I follow that plan every single day. There's nothing different that I do on the charts. So as of right now, again, we could continue to look for gold, but right now the highest probability trades that I have on my watch list for tomorrow is going to be USD ZAR, USD CAD going long, potential shorts on US 30, and that's pretty much it, right? And then GJ going long to fill that gap up at the top of the market. So we still have a good amount of pairs to look at going into tomorrow for sure. So just have to be patient, wait for price to develop a little bit more. Let's also get used to, bro. Something I haven't been doing recently is looking at Forex Factory. Like I really got to get back to looking at that. We have GBP news tomorrow at 5 in the morning Eastern, 5 a.m. Eastern, 5:15 for GBP. That's the only red folder that we have, and then we have medium impact at 8:30, and it'll be Mr. Powell speaking tomorrow. So we might have a little bit of volume in the morning for the USD pairs. But any question, guys? Anything you guys want me to go over again? Anything you want me to explain? Let me know. If not, that'll be it for tonight, and we'll be back again tomorrow morning for the live trading session at 6 a.m. Why is that dog barking, man? Any questions at all, let me know. Again, if no questions, then we'll be done for the day, and we'll be back tomorrow. Seems like you guys are good in the chat. Let me peep Discord real quick just in case, but I think we're good. I don't think I have any questions in Discord right now. Nope, no questions in Discord. Okay. Give you guys a few more seconds here in the chat. Think you guys are good. Albert, my brother, I hope you have a good rest of your night. We'll see you tomorrow. Everybody else, the people who watch the recording, again, if you have any questions, just let me know. You could always message me on Discord, message me on X, message me on Instagram, whatever you feel the most comfortable. If you're comfortable leaving a comment, if you watch the recording and you want to leave a question in the comment section, definitely you could do that as well, and I'll get back to you. So, alright, looks like you guys are good. Have a good rest of your night, and we'll see you guys tomorrow morning for the live trading session. Peace out.